KSA edition organized by Khaleej Times. For the next session, which is a very interesting session on digital native, the new age customer for the new age of banks. For this particular very interesting topic, I would like to call Mr. Khalid Siddiqui. Mr. Khalid Siddiqui is the Chief Information Officer at HSBC Saudi Arabia. Khalid is a highly accomplished and experienced technology leader with the expert proficiency in developing and implementing innovative technical solutions throughout the globe. Outstanding background in development and managing multiple technologies, providing architecture development, relationship management, and staff leadership, Khalid has strong competency and broad experience in the capital markets and is an advocate for cloud, fintech, and agile. So, welcome, Khalid. Welcome on board at the DigiBank Summit, especially the KSA edition. I hope you have a good session, and I'm right here if you have any questions.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Mitsu, and thanks everyone for whoever is attending today with us on this small talk that we're having around digibanks. I would go ahead and share my screen. It's okay. So today we're going to be talking about the new age customer and how the expectations are changing from the banks themselves based on the needs from our customers. If you can see my screen, a couple of things which we'll be discussing today will be around how it has changed, if any, over a period of time, the customer's expectations, what we're doing as a banking community in general, and HSBC specifically around ensuring that we are delivering the right experience to our customers, and also what can we do to ensure that our infrastructure is ready for scaling up, and we don't have to do band-aid solutions around massive infrastructure commissioning, so we could work off of the clouds, as Mitsu was saying previously as well. Big advocate of cloud, and see how we can take it forward. So if I so that's just what I will be organizing my thoughts around. So COVID happened, right? 2020, unprecedented year. Cliche, everybody has been saying that, but definitely unprecedented. We don't remember from our living memory anything of this sort. Massive upheaval to the way of life, how we live, and also as in the working community, how we serve our customers and meet their expectations. What did we do as HSBC was around not necessarily being productive, but be very effective, ensure that our customers are able to carry on with their businesses, and we are there for them during these very challenging times. Some of the milestones that we have achieved despite the pandemic and the challenging times is so in certain markets we have reduce the turnaround times or the account opening times from days and weeks to hours to under 24 hours, which was definitely a massive improvement and enhancement on our behalf. Obviously, in such times, trying to reduce any paper-based or contact-based interaction with the customers as much as possible. Also, to be able to ensure that upwards of 220,000 colleagues are able to work from home effectively and be productive in a manner where the customers are not feeling any impact. We achieved that, and in a very short period of time, in certain markets with more challenging than in other markets, but still we were able to do that, and very effectively. That's on the being productive side, and we did not stop there. We ensured here in HSBC Saudi, our assets under management improved by a significant percentage during this pandemic. Also, we executed the largest transaction ever in the history of Saudi Stock Exchange Tadawul, where we facilitated the sale of SABIC from PIF to Aramco. Very, very significant. As we said, the largest deal in the history of Saudi Stock Exchange was executed during the pandemic with almost the entire team working from homes. Also, Saudi being introduced, or Saudi Stock Exchange being introduced to the MSCI FTSE inclusion, the last leg of which was conducted during the pandemic, and we successfully executed that. Some of the things which we are very proud of, and we were able to do that despite the pandemic. So how has HSBC responded? We have seen the move from the ATMs, the checks, the debit cards, and all the way to e-commerce, and now with your Apple Pay and Mada Pay, etc. So we've seen it all during the last few decades or whatever. What's changed is essentially the pace of innovation. So the innovation has already been there. The expectation is around, we need to improve and all that. But the expectation is now even the turnaround time is much faster. So I keep saying to my team here in IT is, we need to stop looking at it from a waterfall delivery model. We need to look more into agile, because that's what the customers are looking for. And the proverbial, the constant beta, where you launch a service, bare bones, minimum viable product, and keep improving upon it to ensure that you meet the customer expectations gradually and incrementally. And that's what we're working towards. HSBC specifically in the region have been working very closely with the DIFC FinTech Hive, where we have been very actively mentoring and sponsoring the viable startup businesses, and ensuring that they get the right guidance, and we partner and ensure that its ecosystem moves very efficiently and smoothly. So in that front, if I could say, a big achievement on part of our commercial banking affiliate in Saudi. So SAB and HSBC complete the first blockchain trade transaction in Saudi Arabia, which was, once again, like I said, it was the first of its kind, and sets the stage for the blockchain transactions and the fintech industry moving more into the blockchain. This was a cross-border transaction with the buyer and the seller, one being in Bahrain, the other one in Saudi, and Saab was able to facilitate that. So we're at the forefront of what's happening on the blockchain side. Also, very actively working with the first KYC blockchain consortium in the region in UAE, where HSBC is one of the 6 banks where we are working to support this initiative, which is around transformation of the Emirates economy, facilitating, ensuring the quicker turnaround time, quicker setting up of the businesses, etc. So those are a couple of big achievements for HSBC in the region. So as we were saying earlier as well, what has changed is essentially the pace of innovation and the expectations of the customer to move at a pace, and not necessarily. So it's not about delivering the cutting edge product. It's about when you do that, right? So and what's changed recently, or in the last several years, I would say, has been around the dawn of smartphones and the ever increasing power of the smartphones, which lies within the palm of the customer. So what's the expectation of our customer is around what the experience they're seeing from the various e-commerce sites and the e-commerce platforms. They're comparing the banking platforms along with them, and expectation is to deliver on that pace and deliver on the features and capabilities equally good as the e-commerce platforms, the likes of the Amazon and Noon and etc. So and also these things have always been around. It's just that COVID-19 this year has improved the pace of innovation and the expectation. So we are supposed to accelerate the adoption. We are supposed to ensure that we are delivering much quicker, and we are going contactless, paperless, etc. As we were talking earlier as well, during the beginning of the pandemic, we have improved customer journeys around account setup, around digital signatures, to ensure that we are safe, we keep our customers safe, and there is a minimal impact on the businesses. And the numbers speak for themselves. The contactless payments, the point of sale transactions, and the less use of cash is speaking for itself across the region and across the globe as well. Um, um, so what are we as bank looking for the new customer, or the new age customer? Um, as we were saying earlier as well, we have reduced turnaround times. We have reduced turnaround times for the payments and the receive payments. It's about convenience and greater security, obviously. As a bank, we are looking into accelerating the adoption of digital technology as much as we can, not only to our external customers, but to our internal customers, which is our colleagues and employees as well. We want to be a digital first bank, where we want to launch on app first, digital first, and then blend it with face-to-face customer support as well. We've learned from our experience as well that we want to ensure that the quality of our customer experience is consistent, and that takes a lot around ensuring that across various platforms, us offering various lines of businesses to and products and services to our customers, from local equities trading to international equities trading, also to mutual funds, etc. We want to ensure that the experience is consistent, the experience is wholesome, and it meets their expectations. What does the new customer want? It goes without saying that the new age customer, the millennials, are not interested in filling out lengthy KYC forms. We have learned a lot on that front, and we are trying to improve that customer journey, the account opening, the KYC renewal, customer due diligence, etc., by ensuring that we are working with the trusted data source providers, the likes of Ilm and Tahakkum and Saudi Post. We are getting a lot of support from the government as well as part of Vision 2030. One of the vision realization programs is around ensuring that this treasure trove of data that the National Information Center, the NIC, has been sitting on, has been monetized by the likes of Al-Ilm and Tahakkum, where when we pass, as part of web service calls, we pass our the NIN number along with date of birth, we get the entire customer data, and we can only show it to our customers so that they can verify, and boom, your KYC form is updated. Compared to what previously was the case, where you had to provide lengthy forms, all single pieces of information, and get it. So essentially, this is around improving the customer journey, and we've done that. We are working with Saudi Post as well, where they're providing the customer address, so the customer doesn't have to provide and type every single piece of information, where this can be over a period of a second or two, over a web service call, you can get it and populate it. Just get verification from the customer and persist it in your database. What we are also seeing is the lines between various devices has blurred. So your customer could start your registration or KYC form off of a laptop and finish that off of a mobile phone, or vice versa, or a tab. So we want to ensure that we are providing this sort of support to them, so that the customer service is or experience is seamless as well. we're looking into chatbots, where the most basic of queries where the customer needed to call and wait for their turn, where an agent, a physical agent, could respond to their very basic queries, could be done now through, for example, WhatsApp chatbots. That we're seeing a lot of adoption on that, not necessarily in the banking community, but also on other businesses as well, your telco service providers, also your courier service providers as well, the likes of Aramex, etc. Um, we are looking to more personalized, relevant experience for our customers. Um, Open banking is one initiative where HSBC is the first in the region to launch this in Bahrain. Bahrain being at the forefront of the fintech and innovation scene within our region. So HSBC was among or is the first to launch this with the Central Bank of Bahrain, where we're already live on this platform. And the beauty around is since this is working off of a cloud, and what we were talking about, the infrastructure, so the dynamic scaling from a couple of thousand customers to millions of customers can happen literally within minutes, based on our working with the major cloud service providers within the region, the likes of Amazons and Microsofts and Google. So we would like to see adoption of that more within the region. We've seen GCC has been lagging a little bit behind on open banking when we look at the banking community or the fintech community in Europe. But we see there is interest. There's a lot of uptick and interest from the customers themselves. So we're looking into open banking, where we would be improving the lives of our consumers around uh, 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 convenience of use, the protection, the reduced operational costs, and essentially increased competition among the banking community as well. We could open new revenue streams when we are, because when we're sitting on these treasure troves of data, and by open banking, we're making this available to the rest of the banking community, trusted banks who are, partners on the open banking API. We see this is a win-win situation for the banks, for the consumers before anyone else. So we are really excited about looking into providing open banking as well, and at the adoption of open banking at a massive scale within the region. Uh, um, Also, one of the in fact, we are getting massive support from the government as the Vision 2030, and one of the vision realization programs is the Financial Sector Development Program, where these are some of the matrix or the KPIs where we are measuring ourselves against. So if I could talk just a little bit about the payments, very, very interesting, very uh, talked about space, especially now that we are seeing the first unicorn within Saudi Arabia, STC Pay being the first billion real company, with the interest of foreign players wanting to take stake in some of the local players. It's a very, very interesting space, and that's just the beginning. We are seeing excellent uptake and adoption from the community. Once again, as we were saying earlier as well, COVID has only accelerated the adoption from the consumer side and from the service provider side as well. We're looking into working the real-time payments or the launch of real-time payments across GCC, the RTGS program. Obviously, with COVID came massive adoption of cashless society. So the launch of Apple Pay through Mada, and the other digital wallets that various providers are working on. Very, very interesting space, and we are looking at that with a lot of interest, and looking to improve journeys of the customers. on the capital markets space, which is our area, being on the investment banking side of the business. So Saudi Aramco was listed as the most valuable IPO in the history on Saudi Stock Exchange, and then we were one of the players in that. This depository company has been launched by Tadawul very recently, or this year as well. Saudi stock market has been fully incorporated, embedded into MSCI as one of the emerging market. We are very excited about that. And with all of this is coming, banking community is looking into efficiencies and operational efficiencies as well. We've already seen the merger of Saab and Al Awwal. Another huge merger has been announced, which will result in the largest bank in the kingdom and among the top 3 within the region. The merger of NCB and Al Ahli, NCB and Samba. We are also looking into eKYC, and this is being driven by the Saudi FinTech experiment from the Capital Markets Authority. We are looking at that space with a lot of interest for launching digital KYC. It's a very interesting space where the banks and the financial service providers are providing these new services and products and ensuring improving customer experiences, and with a lot of support from the government around the financial sector development program. So with all of this, what we're looking into is, if I could sum it up and my final thoughts, very, very interesting space. We are looking into all of this with a lot of interest to ensure that we launch all of this, and these massive fintech community that is building up in the region, even within the country, I would say, gets the right sponsorship, gets the right partnership. The incumbent banks have a lot of role to play, HSBC being one of them. So we partner and we improve this ecosystem of fintech service providers. And also with October being the Cyber Awareness Month, and with so much happening in the digital world, and so many transactions moving from physical to digital, and a major chunk of economies moving into digital, the clear and present danger of cyber attacks and financial crime, that's something we also need to be very careful about. We are working very closely with some of the new fintech in the region who are able to provide these solutions around protection, detection of some of these attacks, and to ensure that the customers are safe in the online world. So with that, I would open it up for questions if there's any. It was very interesting to talk about this. We can take it further, but I do understand that we have a time limit. So.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid. Of course, there are some very interesting questions that have come up. If I can share, yes. So there are some very interesting questions that have come up. However, we are running out of time, and we'll not be able to take a lot of questions. However, I think we can take one question, because after this, there's a networking coffee break. So just one question that I would like to speak to you, and just 1 minute, if you could give me to this question. Will blockchain lead to a complete data transparency amongst banks?
See, this space, like I said, in the region, the uptick has been, or the adoption has been slow, but it could definitely lead into massive transformation in the banking and financial sector side. We have already performed the first blockchain trade, as we were talking about here in the region, and also the tokenization of the securities business. So those are a couple of things we are looking at with a lot of interest, and yes, it could lead to massive. But the incumbents need to partner with the fintech, right, to ensure the ecosystem is, yeah.
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Khalid, for sharing your views here on the platform and giving us such a fantastic presentation. I'm sure a lot of people definitely enjoyed it. Now, I would request all the other delegates, all the delegates who are attending, that it's time for you to network and speak to all our sponsors and go to their booths and speak to all of them and make some very interesting and important business connections. I thank you once, Mr. Khalid, and I hope that all of the delegates can come back to us at 12:15 because we have another presentation by Mr. Sharbul Diab, the Managing Director for OneSpan Middle East. So see you all at 12:15. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mitsu. Thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you.